Forget the 8-hour workday. It's a psychological lie. The only way to consistently achieve world-class output is to embrace the stop button. And in this explainer, we're going to prove that the single most productive thing you can do right now is set a timer for 25 minutes, not to start working, but to know when to stop. Look, this isn't about working less, it's about working smarter, deeper, and achieving in these focused little sprints what most people fail to do in a full day of just being busy. All right, let's get into it. Here's the game plan. We're going to break this all down in 6 parts. We'll start with the paradox itself, why less time actually equals more results. Then, we'll identify the real enemy of your productivity. After that, we'll build your defense with the core system, unpack the science that makes it all click, give you an immediate action plan, and finally, completely shift your mindset on what it means to be productive.
So let's jump right into the big claim. Why would a 25-minute sprint beat hours of grinding away at your desk? Well, the answer is pretty simple. We've fundamentally misunderstood how our brains are wired. We've all been sold this myth that success comes from this relentless, nonstop effort. It's this old idea from the industrial age, you know? Clock in, grind, clock out. But our brains aren't assembly lines, and biology tells a much, much more interesting story.
The truth is, our brains are not built for 8 hours of nonstop, high-level thinking. They're designed for rhythms, intense focus, followed by rest. Pushing past that natural cycle doesn't get you more done. It just gives you cognitive fatigue. You know that feeling, right? The brain fog, making dumb mistakes, rereading the same sentence over and over. That's your brain telling you it's done. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't go to the gym and try to lift weights for 8 hours straight, would you? Of course not. You do sets and reps with rest in between. The Pomodoro Technique is basically that. It's high-intensity interval training, but for your mind. It works with your biology to keep you at your best all day long.
Okay, to really get why this system is such a game changer, we have to name the real villain. And it's not a lack of time. It's not about not trying hard enough. The real enemy of modern work is fragmentation. And it's got a name, attention residue. It's this invisible tax you pay every single time you switch tasks, leaving a little piece of your brain behind on the last thing you were doing. Research from the University of California, Irvine paints a pretty grim picture. The average person doing knowledge work, so basically you, gets interrupted every 11 minutes. An email alert, a Slack message, a coworker asking a quick question, or just that little twitch to check your phone. Every 11 minutes, that fragile state of deep focus you worked so hard to get into, it's shattered. But honestly, that's not even the worst part. Because for every single one of those little interruptions, it takes an average of 23 minutes to get back to the same level of focus you had before. 23 minutes. Let that sink in. If you get interrupted just 4 times in a morning, and let's be real, that's a good morning, you've lost over an hour and a half. Not from the interruptions themselves, but from the recovery time. Your brain is just spinning its wheels, trying to get back on track, while you feel like you're working hard, but you're not actually moving forward. And this shows the two worlds we can live in, right? On the left, you've got the typical unstructured day. It's chaotic, you're constantly putting out fires, jumping between a million tabs. You end the day totally exhausted, but with that nagging feeling that you didn't really get anything important done. And on the right, you've got the alternative, a day that's rhythmic and protected. Your focus is a fortress, your energy is managed, and your output is high. You still end the day tired, but it's a good tired, the satisfaction of a job well done. That's the world the Pomodoro system creates. So, if that's the enemy, how do we build our defenses? Let's talk about the core system. It is so simple, but its real power is in its rules. This isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's a protocol, a fortress against that chaos we were just talking about. And it all started with a simple kitchen timer. So back in the 80s, a student named Francesco Cirillo was really struggling to focus. He made a bet with himself, could he just focus on one thing for 10 minutes? He grabbed a kitchen timer that was shaped like a tomato, a Pomodoro in Italian, and boom, the whole technique was born. The basic unit of the system is one Pomodoro. It's a 25-minute block of work on one and only one task. And the most important rule is right there on the screen. It is indivisible. You don't do half a Pomodoro. If you get interrupted, the Pomodoro is canceled. You have to start over. And that's not a punishment, it's training. It forces you to be absolutely ruthless about protecting your focus. The cycle is incredibly simple. Step 1, you set a timer for 25 minutes. Step 2, you work on your one thing with 0 interruptions. Phone is silent and out of sight. Email is closed. All notifications are off.
Step 3, when that timer dings, you stop right away and you take a mandatory 5-minute break. Now, the key here is that it has to be a non-digital break. Checking your phone or scrolling social media isn't a break. That's just giving your brain a different kind of work. A real break is getting up, stretching, grabbing some water, looking out the window. You have to create a real mental disconnect.
The system also has a bigger rhythm built in. After you complete 4 full Pomodoros, you've earned a longer macro break of about 15 to 30 minutes. And this is so important. This longer break lines up with our brain's natural ultradian rhythms. These are the 90-minute energy cycles our bodies go through all day. You felt it, right? That mid-morning slump, the post-lunch dip? The Pomodoro system works with those cycles instead of fighting them. That macro break hits right when your energy is naturally dipping, which lets you really reset and stay sharp all afternoon.
Okay, this all sounds great, but why does it actually work so well? Let's dig into the science, because this isn't just some productivity hack. It's a system that's literally engineered to work with your brain's wiring. There are really 2 key psychological triggers that make this so powerful. First, it absolutely destroys procrastination, and it does this using something called the Zeigarnik Effect. This is just a fancy term for our brain's obsession with unfinished tasks. It's why a cliffhanger on a TV show makes you desperate to see what happens next. When you're staring at some huge, scary project, it feels impossible to start. But the Pomodoro Technique just asks for a tiny commitment. Hey, can you just do 25 minutes? Anybody can do 25 minutes. And the second you hit that timer, the Zeigarnik Effect kicks in. The task is now officially in progress, and your brain creates this open loop that it just has to close. It's like you're hijacking your own brain to pull you through the work. Second, it actually retrains your focus by rewiring your brain's reward system. Think about it. Distractions like social media are addictive because they're like a slot machine. They give you an unpredictable reward. You never know what you're going to get when you refresh your feed, and that creates this powerful dopamine loop that just leaves you anxious and scattered. The Pomodoro system replaces that chaos with a predictable, earned reward. Every time that 25-minute timer goes off, you get a small win, a sense of accomplishment, and a genuine break. This gives you a small, healthy hit of dopamine that reinforces the habit of focusing. You're literally training your brain to find focus more satisfying than distraction.
All right, we've covered the what and the why. Now for the how. And the best part is, you don't need to wait. You can start setting this up tonight for tomorrow. Here's your super simple 3-step action plan. Step 1, the nightly breakdown. Before you log off today, take 10 minutes. Figure out your biggest task for tomorrow and break it down into 25-minute chunks. Write report is way too big. It becomes outline points, that's 1 Pomodoro, draft intro, another Pomodoro, find stats, maybe 2 Pomodoros. This kills decision fatigue in the morning. Step 2, set the non-negotiable cycle. Tomorrow morning, don't even think. Just pick your first task, set your timer, and go. Step 3, track, rest, and reevaluate. Every time you finish a Pomodoro, put a physical check mark on a piece of paper. It sounds silly, but seeing that visual proof of your progress is incredibly motivating. It builds real momentum.
And let's just hammer home the rules that make this all work. The biggest one is this. When that timer rings, you stop. I mean it, immediately. Even if you're mid-sentence, even if you're in the zone. This is what builds discipline, prevents burnout, and actually makes you excited to get back to the task. Use that break to move your body. It's critical for the mental reset. And please don't underestimate the power of just making a check mark. That little feedback loop is what will carry you through the whole day.
When it comes right down to it, using this technique is about way more than just managing your time. It's about mastering your mental energy. It's a complete shift in how you see your own ability to do high-quality work. It's moving from this brute force approach of just trying to power through to a smarter, strategic approach, where rest is actually part of the work. And this right here is the biggest lesson. Your focus, it's not some bottomless well you can just keep drawing from. It's a precious, finite resource that runs out. The Pomodoro Technique gives you the structure to use it intensely and then strategically refill the tank. It teaches you to respect your own biology, which, paradoxically, is the only way to consistently perform at your best. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. When you look at your own workday, are you still stuck in that old trap of trading hours for results, measuring your day by how busy you were? Or are you ready to start trading focused sprints for exceptional quality and measuring your day by what you actually accomplished? So let's bring it all home. The Pomodoro Technique isn't just about a timer. It's a complete system. It's designed to solve the two biggest problems of modern work: burnout, which comes from trying to sprint a marathon every single day, and fragmentation from that constant storm of digital distractions. Why does this matter? Because it gives you a real, practical way to achieve peak output without that mental fatigue that just leaves you drained.
By using the simple 25-minute sprint framework, you're tapping into the Zeigarnik Effect to make starting any task almost effortless. And you're using those predictable, earned dopamine hits to keep your motivation high all day. Just remember this: true productivity isn't about doing more. It's about mastering systems that make deep, meaningful focus feel effortless.